This is the TYTUS Charcoal Gray 4-burner natural gas grill island with sear burner and ice bucket, purchased from Barbecue Guys. It came in two large boxes on a pallet with a couple of smaller boxes. One of the smaller boxes was the natural gas conversion kit, and then another box for the cover. Optional cover and optional natural gas conversion. I've already unboxed it and it's out here ready to be assembled. So let's do that. Okay, so I just opened the grill section, and inside the grill section looks like a parts catalog, the assembly and instruction manual, four flame tamers, as well as the grilling surface. And I've also opened up the rest of it. So let's start assembly. Okay, so the next step in opening up the barbecue is to unlatch these pieces here that are holding it together in its compact configuration. So we're going to do that and then I guess assemble the walls of the base. Okay, so this is the natural gas conversion kit, and we've got the instructions, a natural gas fuel line regulator, and then a line to your natural gas. So we're going to take a pause in the assembly before we finish assembling the side burner. We're going to attach the natural gas unit. So to install the natural gas line, you've got to go in and remove the burners. I've already removed 3 of the 4. It's pretty simple. You just pull the pin. You got to put your finger underneath there to catch the clip, and then you have to bring the burner in, rotate it to disconnect it from the orifice, and then it comes out. This next part, though, is a little bit more tricky. It requires that you disassemble part of the orifice, but unfortunately, the instructions require you to have a 6 millimeter socket wrench, and they send you a flathead screwdriver, but not the 6 millimeter wrench, which, if you don't have it, it's impossible to complete the project, because as you can see here, the hole and space to actually do this is really tiny, so you're going to need the proper tool. Fortunately, I have I have a socket wrench set that's small enough. So let's try that next. As you can see, these are pretty small, but it's critical to remove them if you want the natural gas line to work, because the propane tank and natural gas orifice are quite different. So if you have the TYTUS grill island model, which I have with the side burner, you also have to remove the orifice from the side burner. Unfortunately, the only instructions on how to do that are this little warning square. So there's no instructions on how to disassemble and remove the orifice on the side burner. So I just kind of took it apart, which I'll show you as I reassemble it. Once you take it apart, it's actually very easy to get to the orifice, but there's a lot of screws and a couple of nuts. I think one of the nuts just rolled away somewhere, so I'm not sure actually how many for sure are required to reassemble it, but I'll show you the process so you can see it in reverse. But no instructions anywhere on how to do the disassembly of the side burner. It wasn't too hard, but there's a little bit of a leap of faith in hoping you can reassemble it properly. Okay, I successfully removed the orifice, and now I'm going to attempt to reassemble the side burner. Again, there were no instructions for how to do it, but it's pretty simple. I think if you take your time and watch out for those the nuts rolling away, you should be able to do it. You can see up there where the nuts are connected, but it's pretty tight. So I'm not quite sure I'm going to do the other side. I might need to take the front or the side panel off. And I definitely lost two of the nuts. So I'm going to have to look around for those. So I'd say when you're disassembling it, be very careful for those nuts that are going to drop out. And if you've got really long arms, that'll be helpful for doing the right side over here. It's going to be kind of hard to get to these here. 2 counterclockwise turns. I think that's a full turn. 1, 2. Okay. All right, so this one should be a little bit faster, so I know what I'm doing now. Oh. I think it'll be faster. There we go. 1, 2. All right, and the nice thing is, unlike for the socket wrench, they do provide a small screwdriver to use for this process. Okay, good stuff. So once you install the regulator on the floor of the main barbecue, there's not really any additional instructions for what you're supposed to do. So you sort of have to look at the original assembly instructions and the natural gas instructions to figure out what's next. So you have to go over to, again, if you've got the island-based unit, you have to go over to the side burner and remove the regulator for propane, and then replace it or reconnect the regulator for natural gas. So there's a little conduit that you can run it through, a little hole you can run it through. And so I'm gonna attempt to do all that right now. Notably, you need to have a wrench to remove the regulator. So make sure any wrench, or you could probably even use some pliers for it too. So I've connected the natural gas line to the barbecue right here. This nut seemed to be maybe machine tightened. It was incredibly tight, so be careful when you're removing it. Okay, so here it is, fully assembled. It looks pretty nice. You know, there are certainly some issues. The sear side cabinet front door is a bit off, and there's kind of a gap here, a pretty large gap that's not consistent with the other side. I'm gonna have to try and figure out how to fix that. You know, no instructions for how to replace the sear burner. So what I discovered was that the screws actually on the right side here, only one of them had a bolt. The other two were just loose. There was no bolt. So the left side certainly secure, but you know, that's sort of problematic. You know, inside everything looks great. I will say the grates are very heavy and seem very durable. So pretty impressed with that. And over here, you know, in the ice chest, right, nothing really to look at here, but that's all fine. Underneath, there's you know, we've got the natural gas line headed out. So this whole assembly did not take 5 minutes as advertised. It took me a better part of 3 hours. Now, I was not rushing through it trying to get ready for the big game. I was certainly taking my time figuring it out. The natural gas conversion took a solid hour. So if you're going to do that conversion, be prepared to add an hour. But the rest of the assembly, I think you could probably get it done in an hour if you were just kind of cruising along and there were two of you. I did this mostly solo, but it was pretty easy to assemble. You know, there was only 2 additional tools that were not included that I needed, and that was only because I did the natural gas assembly. So if you're doing the natural gas conversion, then I recommend you know, getting a wrench as well as a socket wrench. I think you're gonna need a 6mm or 1/4 inch, probably fine. But otherwise, looks good. I'm looking forward to grilling on it. Seems pretty sturdy. Definitely looks nice, and is a nice compliment to the backyard. So good luck.